Worldwide. From the streets to the yard, to the boulevard, gangsta chronicle. But alright, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangsta Chronicles.
Gangsta Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangsta Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
So when we talk about contracts, what does that mean? The name is not on some piece of paperwork somewhere floating around.
Yeah, well, you're the guy who's going to be the guy who's doing the shooting and doing the hit. You're in charge of the hit, and you're calling all the shots. And they give you the guy's name who's going to go, the reason why, and that's about it. It's as simple as that.
Now, what happens when it's one of those situations and this is a person that you actually care about? Like, this is a good friend of yours. Have you ever had that moment?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But, you know, it depends on when it comes down what you did. If you broke rules, certain rules in Cosa Nostra, you had to go. Now, if it's personal, it is what it is. If he broke certain rules, we all take an oath to be in that life. Mm-hmm. We all understand the rules and regulations. Now, if I broke the rule, maybe he would be shooting me. But he broke the rule. It wasn't me. And there's nothing I could do about it.
And that oath is taken pretty seriously.
Oh, it's taken very seriously.
Wow. So you get a guy that's been your friend for years. You guys could have grew up together. And they says that this guy has to go. He has to go.
Yes, more or less. I mean, you can talk for him, depending, you know, trying to save his life. You can try to reason with the bosses and whatever. But if the reason is too great, he broke a rule that's, you know, sacred to them, then he's just got to go. There's nothing you could do about it.
Wow, man, that's deep, man. Now, you were involved in the hit on the Gambino crime boss, Paul Castellano.
Yes.
And was that an authorized hit?
No.
That could have ended up in some big shit, man, if it went wrong, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It actually did go wrong. I mean, we did lose guys. Frankie the Chico was blown up 4 months later. The guys, Eddie Lino, there was guys who were killed. It broke into a little bit of a war. We were so powerful, John Gotti and myself and a few others, that it was hard to come against us. We just had an army. We had 100 shooters with us. Mm. So it really was hard. So they had to do things. When they did it real sneaky, so we wouldn't know who did what. So, but we did lose some guys.
Yeah, that was a dangerous time. Now, what made you guys decide to pretty much contract that guy's life, put a contract out on him?
Paul Castellano?
Uh-huh.
Well, he made a lot of mistakes that would just, when you're the boss, your word is gospel. But still, you got to be fair, and there's things that you can do. You could put your own life in jeopardy, and that's exactly what happened. Now, John Gotti and his crew, there was a rule about not dealing drugs. You deal drugs, and you die. Him and his crew got caught dealing drugs. He was in trouble. His whole crew was in trouble. But Paul made so many other blunders and so many things that guys didn't agree with, mm-hmm. that rather than killing John, we decided to take out Paul and change the life around and bring it back to what it was supposed to be. If he didn't do all his crimes, then maybe John Gotti would have died, and we wouldn't have helped him.
Wow, that's deep, man. And do you think he ever saw it coming?
No, obviously not. No, he never knew. It's so, we put it together so well together. I actually planned the hit. Mm-hmm. It was in Midtown Manhattan in front of Sparks Steakhouse. It was 5:30 at night, right before Christmas. mobs of people in the street, cops everywhere. He never saw that coming. And that's what I looked for. And I knew the confusion would help us get away with it and would confuse everything. And it worked to a T. We had 11 guys on the hit, back guys, crash cars, 4 shooters who would shoot Paul and Tommy Bellotti as driver, bodyguard. So it just came down smooth.
Wow, it seems like there's an enormous amount of planning that goes into this. It's just not like the stuff that you see today, to where a dude is walking out the liquor store and a car drives by and hits everybody else around the guy except the attendant victim. You know, they shoot kids, grandmothers, mamas, and everybody else. It seems like when you guys were out there doing your thing, you put a lot of meticulous effort into it.
We were planning this for about 8 months to get the right spot, and I agree. We make sure it's not in front of families, their own family. We try to pick a spot where we could do it properly and without hurting innocent people. But by the same token, if anybody would have interfered with that hit, they would have got hit too. So, but nobody interfered. Everybody ran and screaming, yelling, shots flying all over the place. But it wasn't all over the place. It was into their bodies. They were right up on top. No shooting from a car. We were right up on, the shooters were right up on top of the guys. The guns were probably inches away from them when they were pulling triggers. So nobody would get hurt. The whole team had to move away from that hit. We had to work together. We had a thing that it was a do or die hit. It had to be done. And you don't move until the whole team moves. If you move or try to run before the team moved, then you better keep running because we're going to kill you too as soon as we get you.
Wow, man. So this dude evidently pissed a lot of people off, man. People were upset at him and they decided he has to go. So you guys playing this, did anybody at any point ever try to talk you guys out of moving forward?
No, because it wasn't discussed with very many people. It was a small little group of us. There was, we called it the Fist. There was 5 guys who were important in this. We called it the Fist. And it was us. I had a crew. I didn't talk to my crew about it. They didn't know what was going on. Just one guy in the crew. I did talk to it, this guy, the old man, Joe Peruta, because at one point we considered him to be the guy who was going to do the work. They would stop before they went to court every morning in a Greek diner. They would sit near the toilet. We were going to put a shotgun in the bathroom. Peruta could have went into the bathroom, opened the door, come out, and pop the 2 of them right away. And then we would have had shooters all over the place to back him up. But the same place that Paul and Tommy would stop and eat breakfast before they went to court, a whole shitload of cops did the same thing. There was just too many cops there. So that plan went down the drain. But that's why I talked with the old man Peruta, and he knew. But the other people in my crew, I didn't even tell them.
So when you guys, what's that process like when you guys are deciding who's going to actually be the one to pull the trigger? How does that process go?
Well, I believe, that's not important. The planning of the hit of where he can't get away, 1. 2, where we could get away. 3, where's the police and who would be a backup shooter to shoot it out if we're shooting it out with the cops? Who would back up the shooters? We picked the 4 shooters, but every guy on that hit could have been a shooter. It doesn't matter. I've always learned it doesn't matter who pulls the trigger. It's the man who makes the plans it, where it's done efficiently. No matter which way you turn, you're going to bunk into one of us, and you're going to get hit. Now, all of a sudden, he becomes the shooter. So it doesn't really matter. If a gun jams, there's people there. The idea of it is to do it quick, effectively, without hurting innocent people. When you start hurting innocent people, like you said, a drive-by, You come by and you open a window and start shooting. When you hit innocent kids or innocent women or people who are innocent to the whole thing, you're going to bring an enormous amount of heat. It seems like the law enforcement, they'll investigate this till no end, but they don't really give a fuck when you're shooting each other. But when you're shooting innocent people, you're going to bring the wrath of the entire fucking system down on you. So it depends on how you want it. That's the way the Mafia does it. We plan it. We're in no rush. We watch you day and night. We'll pick a spot. We'll plan it. And you're going to go. Just a matter of time.